I'm sure you had some sort of opportunities elsewhere. Why did you decide to stay? Why is this place important to you?
Yeah, just we love this place. My family and I love this place. It starts with the people. It starts with Coach Lee, Coach Gregory. Love working with them. The rest of the D staff, and then obviously the players. Like those dudes have become, like brothers, to me, or like I guess I'm old enough now to say like sons, or children. But just love coaching them. Love being here. Love that Vanderbilt is a program that, Coach Lee has spoken this thing into existence. Belief is a practice. And 2 years ago, we were far off from where we wanted to be, but now, we're right on the cusp. And I'm just excited for the challenges ahead and excited to help take this program to the top. So between, the people, Coach Lee, Coach Gregory, our staff, and then the players, my family, we love it here. My wife and I love it here. Our kids love it here. So that makes it a no-brainer, to be here.
How have you seen guys like Bryce Cowan and Jamison Curtis take steps forward this spring?
Yeah, it's really exciting to watch those guys, especially, a guy like Bryce who going into his 5th year now. And man, we were just looking at film from his freshman year practice a couple of days ago, and it was like light years. He's come light years from where he is there, and that's a testament to his hard work. It's awesome to see him not only know his job and do his job well, but also be able to command the defense and communicate to the rest of the defense and kind of run the show. Like that was kind of the next step for him. So he's been able to do that. And then Jamison Curtis, always been a really good football player. With him, it's been about, understanding the playbook and being able to play in a system that can be complex at times. But he's done a really good job of kind of narrowing his focus down, knowing his job, doing his job at a high level. And then when you mix that with already being a really good football player and your instincts, then that means that, the sky's the limit for him.
What's really stood out about the position group during spring practice?
Yeah, I think just growth, a lot of growth, especially from, the older guys. So, really it's Brian Longwell, Nick Rinaldi, and Bryce. Those guys are the veteran guys. And, losing Langston Patterson and Prince Colley, to graduation, like those guys were like the heart and soul of our unit. So those are definitely big losses, and we miss those guys. But what that does, their loss, it allows the rest to grow. And those 3 guys have taken on leadership roles, like they've never had before, and they've done a great job with that. And then the younger guys coming up have really done a good job of taking advantage of opportunities and growing. So while the losses of those guys hurts, it also allows for growth from the rest of the guys.
Feels like you've had a lot of freedom here, to really shape this kind of the way you want to with your position group. How big of a factor has that been for you and maybe wanting to stay here long term?
Yeah, I think we're the head coach of our units, and that's what Coach Lee always talks to us about, farming our own land and making sure that we're the highest level, in our responsibilities. And so with that comes, some autonomy, which is really, really cool. And then obviously, we get a lot of help from, a guy having Coach Lee, at the top. His eyes always go to the linebackers first, which is awesome, because even though sometimes there's a scrutiny there, it also makes us better. It makes me better, makes the linebackers better. So it's great having him. Coach Gregory has seen it at the highest level, so he knows what it looks like. So having their eyes, and ears to bounce ideas off of helps for sure. And then Jackson York, who's been assistant with us for 3 years now, he helps out a lot. So all those guys have helped shape it as well. But I love the fact that now, going into my 5th year, there's a healthy amount of guys that we recruited out of high school. We want to recruit, retain, and develop high school players, and I think we've hit the mark on that so far the last few years, and I want to just continue to do that, and I don't want to have to necessarily go and plug holes, and go to the transfer portal like crazy like some other schools do. Like we want to recruit, retain, and develop and do the best we can to identify talent out of high school, and then make sure that it's our responsibility to help grow them and help develop them so that they're getting better throughout their time here.
What has Brian Longwell meant to your defense? What's he meant from a leader to your team? Where are places where maybe he's gotten better since the end of last season?
Yeah, such a huge impact. I mean, ever since he's been here, as a freshman, ended up starting a couple games. First of all, he's about it from a football standpoint. He's extremely smart already, but his instincts on the field, you can see him come out. We say get to your technique fast on the opponent, and there are several plays, where I can think of off the top of my head against elite opponents, you know, Alabama, Texas, you know, Missouri, where he knows the play before they're running it, and he's able to cut into the backfield and make plays, whether it's run game, pass game, blitzing. So his ability, number one, has helped propel our unit. But then you take on like the leadership stuff and the way that he carries himself, leadership by example, really his first couple of years, does the next right thing the right way. He's always in my office. He's in my office probably more than I am, studying film. So he's done a great job being a student of the game. And then also, like, when guys see that and they see how consistent he is and how he's always in the right spot and he's always asking the right questions, he's engaged, like, that motivates the other guys around him. It makes the other guys better. So that leadership by example was awesome in year 2 and year 3, and now it's year 4, so now it's become a little bit more vocal. So he's coaching the younger guys. Like, what we want is we want our program to be a player-run program. So it's guys like Brian that drive that, where they focus on themselves and they do a great job of mastering themselves, but they also give back to the rest of the unit. And we can only be an elite defense if we're a connected defense. It starts like guys like Brian Longwell that have great leadership and just have a great aptitude for the game. And he's always willing to share with the younger guys and also collaborate with me and with the coaches. He's at that level where it's like, hey, this dude has really good ideas. He sees football in a different way. And the players often see some things maybe that coaches can't see. And he might be like, hey, can we do this in this call, or can we do this? And so there's collaborative stuff there, and he's at that level. And I would say all 3 of those guys, Brian, Nick, and Bryce, are at that level right now where it's more collaborative, you know, than it is just dictating to them, because they've done such a great job of working their butts off and commanding and owning the defense.